Howdy, howdy, howdy. How are y'all doing? Welcome to Cliff Notes Live, the last Cliff Notes Live of June, and then we're in July. And then it's Big Brother season. So excited, so happy. It's going to be so much fun. Hope y'all guys are all doing fantastic. Let me come over here and see who's out here for the show tonight. Oh, let's see. Bunch of comments. Man, y'all get out here so early. I'm always so excited when I see y'all out there. Amanda, Parker, Prince Scrape. Hey, Prince, how are you doing? Anthony, Don, Jake Patton, a lot, Axelots Gaming. Am I pronouncing that correct? Probably not. Sorry about that. But hey, I tried at least, right? Ma as well. Hey, Ma, how are you? Jenna Aker. Hey, Jenna, how are you? And let's see, who else? Maria W. Angie Hung is out here. Did I say you, Anthony? I think so. Maybe Nathan as well. Hey, Nathan, how are you doing? I got all my friends out here. So happy to see y'all. Angie saying happy birthday for Thursday. Don, bud. Happy birthday, Don. I didn't know that, but I'm happy. I hope you have a blast on your special day. Do a lot of dancing and a whole lot of celebrating as well. I got a little birthday celebration coming up in my family as well. Well, I just did. We'll talk about that. But before I do, what a great segue. Before I do, as I always do, let's start off with a big old SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love all y'all out here, and I love all the fans of reality TV because it's so much fun sitting out here and talking to y'all every Monday night. And in a couple of weeks, we're going to get Big Brother, and then we're really going to, I was going to say we're really going to be talking. I feel like we talk already anyway, but I have a feeling we're certainly going to have a lot to talk about, right? So ready for it. I absolutely am. Cameos from Cliff are great gifts. Well, Parker, thank you for that plug. Thank you for that advertisement. I still do cameos. I have so much fun, guys. I have done cameos to advertise gender reveals and to ask people to serve as groomsmen at weddings and to announce that people are pregnant. I have all kinds of fun ones. I always have a blast doing that. So thank you for mentioning it. All right, now I mentioned Don's got a birthday on Thursday. I did mention as well, we had a little celebration in our own family. So congratulations to my son, Daniel, who had his birthday yesterday. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get to come together and celebrate. He wasn't in town. We're going to make up for it here over the 4th or very soon. But it's Daniel's birthday. I don't know if y'all remember while I was inside the house, because we went in the house, what was it, like June 18th or something? If I remember, I may be off a day. But we went into the house a little bit earlier than the people are going into the house this season for BB23. So I was already in the house when Daniel's birthday came up. I think live feeds had only been on for a day or two because we had to wait for a week for live feeds with my season. Not anymore. I hope y'all can hear me because I forgot to put my microphone on. If not, that's all right. I'll just talk away. I assume y'all probably heard her. Someone would have said something, right? But yeah, I was already in the house when it was Daniel's birthday. And so I sat down. Officially, we didn't have any writing instruments, paper, anything like that. But I took a black t-shirt and I took a whole bunch of rice and spelled out happy B-Day, Dan. I love you, I think. And I was so happy. And I made him a cake. I think I took an orange and an apple and I don't know, some chocolate chip cookies on top. I made my own type of special birthday cake to celebrate. So even though we weren't together on that day, I still got to celebrate his birthday. And I'm happy I did. I absolutely love doing it. All right, let's see. All right, thank you, Don, saying I'm good. I assume you're talking about my audio and not just in general, but I'll take it either way. Chris Neverson says, if you were asked to play Big Brother again, would you? Yeah. How could you not take advantage of the opportunity? Yeah, if they ask me again, I've said this before, and I've always said that I would do it. I would ask my family first and get their input, but I think they'd let me do it, and I would do it in a heartbeat. It'd be fun. Wouldn't I would have a blast doing it. It would be interesting because I assume if I ever came back into the house that other people would come back in. I don't know if they're going to put just me and 15 newbies. That'd be a little tough. I wouldn't want to be the only returning player. So if I came back into the house, who knows who I'd be coming back in with. I'd be be some fun people. Johnny Mac, Donnie, Brittany Haynes. There's a lot of people I would enjoy playing Big Brother with. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe it'll be. Who knows when it'll be? I think this season. Y'all tell me if you feel differently. I think it's going to be all newbies. I don't know that CBS has 100% said that, but I assume it seems like that's the way they're going, right? And I kind of like that. It's going to be 16, 17, 18. I don't know how many people are going to be in there. I assume 16. All these new people that we're going to get to cheer on, and we're going to get to figure out who they all are, what their character, who's the sneaky person into the group, who's the person that's nice but doesn't have a clue what's going on, all the in-betweens. It's that time of year, and I'm so ready for it. All right, so Moss saying, why Snoopy and Woodstock? Thank you, because otherwise I would just start talking about Big Brother and we'd never go anywhere else. Why Snoopy and Woodstock? Well, it's not so much just Snoopy. It's the that's kind of dumb, isn't it? It's these right here, because today, special days to celebrate. Today is National Sunglasses Day. Did y'all know that? Yeah, there's a day for everything. Today is National Sunglasses. I thought about putting on a pair, but it's hard enough to see the screens and keep up with everything anyway. So instead of me wearing the sunglasses, I just picked old Snoopy to wear them instead. So yeah, if you got a pair of sunglasses, put them on. You can wear your sunglasses at night. You can wear your sunglasses indoors. I'm okay with all of it. Y'all know that song? That may be a little earlier than some of y'all's time. Corey Hart, I wear my sunglasses at. I'll stop singing because no one likes that. But it's sunglasses time. I was thinking about sunglasses inside the Big Brother house. It's so funny. I brought sunglasses in, but primarily I brought sunglasses to the house so I could wear them outside. So I could wear them outside in the backyard and everything else while sitting around the pool. But I'm glad I brought them in because there's some other advantages that we all had to wearing those sunglasses. First of all, it's bright in there. Y'all can imagine all the lights that are up overhead and everything else. Those sunglasses really kept the light out of our eyes, and it was fantastic. I wore hats inside the house some too for the same reason, just to keep the lights out of my eyes. The other thing, you can wear sunglasses, and while you're wearing sunglasses, I could face this way and be looking off to the side and looking through some of the mirrors on the walls and be monitoring who was going into one of those back bedrooms, things like that. So you could kind of be a little sneaky while you're wearing your sunglasses. And the final thing, and some people were able to do this better than others, but if you wore sunglasses, Big Brother couldn't always tell when you were taking just a quick little snooze, a quick little nap while you're sitting on the couch, everything else. Yeah, oh, that's the other song. Corey Hart, Sunglasses at Night, and then the other one, The Future's So Bright, I Gotta Wear Shades. I love those songs. That would take me back to the 80s. I think those are the late 80s, if I recall correctly. But no, so we would wear sunglasses when we wanted to take a little nap. But Big Brother kind of got wise to us after a while. And if you weren't, if you're snoring, you kind of give up the hoax anyway. They know pretty quick. But beyond that, if you weren't moving anything at all, sometimes Big Brother would say, no sleeping. And you'd have to wake back up. But what we learned to do was you could close your eyes, you could kind of rest, but you had to figure out a way to take like a hand and just tap your shoulder or rub the whole time you're trying to rest, or take a foot and wiggle it around a little bit. Some kind of body movement so that so Big Brother would know that you weren't completely asleep and that you were still paying attention to all that. So again, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Now, Christy didn't mess with that. Christy just said, I'm not sleeping, I'm just meditating. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe if you just hold your hands right and everything. Yeah, she didn't get away with it too much. She finally gave up. But I know she got called out several times, and that was always her answer. Big Brother, I'm just trying to be quiet to do some meditation, and you're not helping anything at all. Maria saying, would you go on any other reality show? The Real Hogwives of Texas. Now, that could be interesting. I told y'all last week, 4 boys in my family, all 4 married. So I've got Sharon, and I've got 3 sister-in-laws. You could put the 4 of them together, and yeah, that would be a fun little reality show. Watch them. They don't fight enough with each other. There's not enough drama, but it'd still be. I'd I'd watch it. Absolutely right. I'd watch it. Other reality shows that I would go on. Yeah. What would I not go on? I'm not going to go on cooking shows. Thank you very much. I may have mentioned this before. When I first was trying to get on Big Brother, or when it looked like there was a chance I was going to get on Big Brother, I couldn't tell the rest of my family because, you got to keep it on the down low and all of that. But eventually, right as I was going into the house, one of my nephews got wind that maybe there was something going on, that I was getting ready to leave for a while, and he guessed I was going to go on a TV show. But y'all know what TV show he thought I was going to go on? The Worst Cooks in America. Yeah, that's what their thinking was, is, oh, Cliff would be perfect for Worst Cooks in America. I don't believe it, but yeah. What reality show would I go on? Well, there's the big ones: Amazing Race, Survivor, Big Brother again. What else? I've said Naked and Afraid I'd go on. I'd be miserable. I'd be horribly miserable. But yeah, anything other. I probably wouldn't do great on RuPaul. I probably wouldn't do great on the America's Next Top Model. But there's others. Family Feud. We can have fun playing Family Feud. I'd be all right with that as well. So yeah, there's a lot of shows that I'd be willing to go on to. The Challenge, I'd go on that. I may keel over during that first race or so, but I'd go on if I could. Yes. Okay. Let me change tracks completely, because I see a statement from Angie. It's the first day of the Stanley Cup, and if I believe it is the Canadiens versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. Hockey in Tampa Bay, hockey in Florida. I know they got a couple of teams. I've got the Lightning, and they got the Panthers over there or something. I'm not real sure. But yeah, hockey in Canada. I see, in fact, David Buchanan, who's out here most of the time, he'd sent me a thing, said, hey, Cliff, I may be watching a little hockey tonight instead. So for all you Canadians out there, I get it. I absolutely get it. If you're from Tampa Bay, okay, I guess I get it there too. Now, I've got to say, I love the game of hockey. I've just never personally played it, so it's a little foreign to me. Trying to keep up with it and all everything. I love hockey in the Olympics. When the USA beat Russia in the the '88 Winter Olympics, oh my gosh, the most amazing sports moment I've ever had in my entire life, I think. But I love that. So I always watch hockey in the Olympics. And I remember the Dallas Stars. Houston has like a minor league team, that's it, or used to. But Dallas Stars played against Buffalo one time in the NHL Finals. I actually watched that, and I remember that overtime at the very end. I think they went to penalty goals, and an amazing hockey game. So I've seen some great hockey games. Never played it myself, though. I'm not so good on ice skates. Y'all saw me on the slip and slide inside the Big Brother house. That was hard enough for me to slip back and forth up and down that ramp. Put a thing of skates on me, and I don't know. I'd spend more time probably sitting on the ice and sliding on the ice than actually. I certainly wouldn't be skating gracefully. I'd be a little bit more of that stepping back and forth. We skated when we were kids. We had rinks down here growing up in Dallas Fort Worth. We had rinks there, and we'd go skating sometimes. But yeah, that's some. But with that being said, Angie, you're Canadian. You're giving up hockey to be out here watching me. I bet you got turned on somewhere else, and I wouldn't blame you at all. But yeah, we got hockey going on, so it's cheer for your favorite team between the two of them. Stars won in '99. Parker saying, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I'm trying to remember my kid's age, and I think we were on vacation. In fact, I know we were in vacation. We were in San Antonio, and the kids went to bed, and I'm watching the game on the hotel TV, and I'm trying not to scream too loud as I'm watching it go back and forth, and trying to be super quiet. Incredible game. Really, really cool. RJ, can imagine Cliff on the RuPaul show. Can you? You really? Can you? Yeah, I think I would need to get some major assistance and some major help. But hey, I'm game for anything. Maybe I better ask Sharon that before I just commit to anything. But yeah, I would need some. There are some real experts on that show, and I would need every bit of expertise that they ever had to even reach that kind of level. That'd be a little interesting. But hey, never say never to anything else. I'm always up for a dare. I'm always up for a challenge. And Sue Hogg wants to join the Hog Wives show. Well, we'd bring her in there as well. She would bring the drama to the show. I know she would do that. So, okay. Hog wives with 4 wives and the matriarch of the family. It works for me. Call the producers, get it set up, and we could all come on and we could play some bit parts as well. My daughter Kelly getting married next year, so would that be season 2 or just bring her in early? I think you got to bring her in early. And I've got a soon-to-be daughter-in-law as well. So, man, this cast keeps getting bigger and bigger. All I know is, if we're doing Hog Wives of Houston or Hog Wives of Texas, I guess it'd have to be. I hope they're pulling in some of that Kardashian money, because if they're going on a show like that, let's see some returns from it as well. Because they didn't get me returns from me since I didn't win the big prize on my particular show. My brother Bowie didn't win the big prize when he was on The Apprentice. So yeah, we'll leave it up to the wives to get that Kardashian money. I'm okay with that. Amanda saying, how long did they give you to pack your suitcase? I assume, Amanda, you're talking about while we were inside the house, when we thought there was a possibility that we could get evicted. Now, I'll tell you how that works. If you were nominated on the block, of course, when you're first nominated, you don't know if you're going to stay in the block because of veto competitions and all of that. So you're first nominated, then we have the veto ceremony on a Monday, veto competition on a Saturday. The veto ceremony would be on a Monday. So from Monday night on, we know who the 2 people are going to be that are going to be up for eviction on Thursday night. And normally what would happen on Wednesday is throughout the day, Wednesday afternoon, everyone would get called in to give their goodbye messages, to record their messages. But the other thing that would happen was the 2 people who were nominated, I may have mentioned this once before, but the 2 people who were nominated would walk into the storage room. They're so mean. You'd walk into the storage room and your suitcase is sitting there in the middle of the storage room. And you see that and you think, oh my gosh. Now, first of all, it means there's a chance you could go home, and no one wants that, right? Not being on the block, knowing you're safe from Monday onwards is such a relief. It was such a wonderful feeling. On the other side, when you knew there was a 50-50 chance, when you knew you were 1 of 2 people on the block, you couldn't enjoy the rest of that week. It was just brutal. It was miserable. And then when you see that suitcase, that's it. So we get the suitcase late Wednesday afternoon, early Wednesday evening, something like that. So we had, what's that, a little less than 24 hours, or right around 24 hours to pack everything up. Once it was all packed up, then we would put the suitcase back in the storage room. And now this is a full-size suitcase. So we had a big suitcase, and then we had our big brother bags. That had clothing, change of clothes, things like that. And here's another thing for you. When we came into the Big Brother house that first day, that's all we had was the clothing in that Big Brother bag. We didn't get suitcases until later on in the show. But we started off with just whatever you could fit in that bag. So that's how it works. So then if you're evicted from the house, you walk out with your Big Brother bag, and then later your suitcase magically shows up once you're in sequester. Or the jury house. I was never in a jury house, but it showed up at my sequester spot, and everyone else that showed up at their jury house. So yeah, we have a little time to pack. Now here's the thing. It was horrible because if y'all remember, I was on the block a lot of times. And so I would have to pack my suitcase. And then after I got done, I didn't get evicted. So I'd unpack everything and then turn around, pack it again. It's horrible. Now, having said all of that, how long did you? I thought I saw somewhere else, Amanda. No, I'm behind on a comment. So actually, the other answer to that is when we actually were leaving to go into the house itself. Sorry, I answered the wrong question, but I don't mind at all. When we were actually in the house, or when I was at home, before I knew for certain I was going to be on the show, you kind of had as long as you wanted. When they came out to shoot promos and everything, I still didn't know I was going to go in the house, but I'd had people say, look, make sure that you're basically ready just in case somewhere over the next few days you're snatched. You may not know exactly when, if you're going to be on the show and all that, but you better already have a suitcase ready to go. And so really, I already had everything packed just in case they just came knocking on my door. So I don't. It's not that we knew we were on the show, because we didn't. And here's the other thing: even if you get grabbed and you have a suitcase and all that, you still may not be on the show. You may just be an alternate, because they do have alternates as well. So I didn't know that I was going to be on the show until I found my key, as y'all saw in the intro and all that. But I already had my suitcase packed just in case. Because how horrible would it be if you just said, yeah, I'm not going to get picked. And then they're knocking on your door and I'm sitting there thinking, all right, I got 93 days or 99 days and I got one outfit to wear. And it's whatever I was wearing when they grabbed me and gave me my key. So yeah, I thought there was a good enough chance that I maybe was going to get on that I went ahead and had everything packed and sitting by the front door, kind of ready to go. And it worked well. Don mentioning that, yes, we talked about nominating or evicting aliens versus zombies one time. Remind me here a little bit. I got a story to tell y'all about zombies. Some things I did over the weekend. That sounds funny, isn't it? No, we for those of you who may not know that, we would practice before the eviction ceremony. We would practice how we were supposed to sit at the eviction ceremony. You sit here, you sit here. This person's going to vote first. This person's going to vote second. And so we would kind of go through a practice run. And so they didn't want to say, okay, go ahead and pretend like you're evicting, Kat or Jessica or whoever, more often than not me, but we didn't worry about that. They'd always give us some just random topic. Lady Gaga or Madonna, zombies or aliens, hot dogs or pizza. Which one do you vote to evict? And there were people who got pretty passionate in there that would argue the case. And if the vote didn't go their way, they'd throw their hands up and say, yeah, forget y'all. I'm not ever going to be friends with y'all when you get out of the house. Can't believe you'd pick. Now, for me, I'm a big zombie fan. Kat, as you can imagine, a big alien fan. So we didn't get along too well that particular week. We were certainly on different sides of the equation. But yeah, so Don, that's a good memory. We absolutely did vote on zombies versus aliens one time. Now, let me look through these comments and see what else is going on. All right. All right. A story you must hear about zombies over the weekend. We will talk about that. Adeline Martinez. Hey, Adeline, I just saw your comment here a second on it. It disappeared on me. But anyway, all right, I'll go. Yeah, there you go. All right, Adeline, I'll tell you the story. I did a little binge watching of TV this weekend. It was kind of rainy out there. I keep waiting for these. Then I'm hearing on the news it's 118 in Portland, and all these horrific temperatures everywhere. It's up in Siberia. It's like 117 degrees over in Russia. That sounds very interesting as well. That'd be a little tough. But having said that, it's a little rainy here this weekend, so I spent some time binge watching a little bit of TV. Now, I've told y'all before, I'm a huge fan of George Romero and Dawn of the Dead and all of his zombie flicks. It was just scary. It scared me as a kid. But there was another zombie flick on, and this is on Netflix. I don't know how many of y'all have seen it, but Black Summer. Have y'all heard it? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Black Summer actually came out, I want to say 2019 or so. I actually watched Black Summer, the first season, before I went into the Big Brother house. And well, I enjoyed it. It was like 8 episodes first season. Had a blast with it, enjoyed it, but forgot all about it and just found out last week they just came out with season 2 of Black Summer. It's just a creepy kind of show because it's all about, now for Angie and others up in Canada, a little inside scoop, it was actually filmed up in the Calgary area. They used the fairgrounds at the Stampede for some of the shots and some little towns around the Calgary area. So it's all filmed up in Calgary. But it's all about people just trying to find a stadium, get to sanctuary because zombies are coming in everywhere and people fighting each other for survival. As I always do, I'm not going to give away plot points or anything else. It was really good. So I ended up watching it again. Told Sharon, said, all right, you need to watch it with me because I'm going to be busy for the next 16 hours or so. So got Sharon to watch it with me as well. She watched most of it. A few parts that she said, yeah, I'm not watching that part. But so we watched season 1 over again. And then we also watched season 2 all over the weekend. It was pretty good. There's a few, you got to suspend a little disbelief, right? When you talk about zombies or, walking and all that, you got to have fun with it. But now I enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed the kind of shows where it's just you versus the world, or it's all about you. And do you have the skills necessary to survive all the monsters and the mean people and everything else that's going on? And so we watched Black Summer. If you haven't seen it before, watch it because it was pretty good. So there you go. That's it. RJ Skinner, what was your favorite junk food while in the Big Brother house? All right. I got that for you. There's a couple of them. When I wanted to be good, I would eat pita chips and hummus because we had a lot of that in the house. And I'm glad we did. Oh, so good. So good. When I was a little less willing, when I wanted to be a little more bad, we had two things. We had M&Ms. Did we have? I feel like we had M&Ms in there just that you would pour out. But the other thing, yeah, maybe we didn't. Gosh, a little tough. All right, here's what we did have. We had those little snack-sized candy bars, the Hershey's, the Rice Crinkles, and dark chocolate and all of that. And the little ceramic container that set on an island in the kitchen. And we would always fill that thing up. And we would all, I think Nicole and myself and one or two others were some of the worst at eating those chocolates. Every time you'd walk by, you'd grab those things. And Big Brother kept 2 or 3 bags of those in the storage room. So there was always chocolate available. But you could kind of figure out who liked what kind of chocolates because after a couple of days, the only chocolates that were still in there were the Mr. Good Bar, the yellow ones with the peanuts in it, Hershey's and the peanuts. I guess no one liked those nearly as much. We'd all go for the Rice Krispie ones and then just straight old Hershey's chocolate. So that was my junk food, and I ate a lot of that. We had a lot of chips and stuff in the house as well, but I'm trying to remember. I fixed a lot of sandwiches and things like that in there. I'll tell y'all one thing I didn't have, and this is getting back to one of the things that we didn't talk about. Today I mentioned National Sunglasses Day. Y'all know what tomorrow is? Tomorrow is National Waffle Iron Day. Yes, indeed. We had pancakes while we were in the house. You'd have to mix the batter and everything, but I did that, and I cooked pancakes a few times. We did not have waffles. We didn't have a waffle maker, and I kind of miss my waffles. I've traveled all over the world, and no matter where you go, typically for breakfast, you can go downstairs and at least find a waffle that you can fix and eat. And with that in mind, I got a question for y'all. I've noticed this, and I've seen some people talk about it as well. Do y'all know here in Texas, when we cook waffles, they aren't the old boring round waffles. Now, in Texas, you have Texas-shaped waffle makers. So you cook your waffle. When you get done, it comes out in the shape of Texas. And it's really cool and makes you feel patriotic every time you're pouring butter and syrup all over your Texas-shaped waffle and you eat the panhandle first, and then you work your way down, and that's the way to do it. But I don't know. Do other states have waffle irons in the shape of their particular state? Now, if you live in Colorado, it's kind of be a boring brown one, right? Square one. If you live in Ohio, kind of a round one. But I don't know. Does Florida or other states, other provinces have shapes of their state and waffle irons? I kind of feel not. I feel like maybe we take everything to whatever level seems reasonable, and then we just ramp it up another slot or two when you're talking Texas. But yeah, we got Texas-shaped waffle irons at almost every hotel you go to here in the state of Texas, it feels like. So we've got that. All right, another question. Colby Mead, what was your favorite and least favorite moment in the house? Oh, well, Colby, getting sent out was not fun. At the very end, when I felt like I got so close and it just didn't work out, and we can talk about reasons, different things I could have done and all that. But at the end of the day, I had to win that last competition or win 1 or 2 competitions at the very end, and I didn't. So that's kind of my least favorite moment, I suppose. Really, that whole week was so stressful. That was very hard to sleep. Just everything. You're so hyper focused on what you can do in the game and trying to figure it all out. Here's the thing. I don't know if y'all know this or not. At one point, when it came down to the final 4, maybe it was in the final 5, maybe Tommy was still in the house as well. Early in the morning, I'm in the shower and everyone else is waking up first thing in the morning. And all of a sudden, Big Brother comes on and says, "House guest, just keep in mind, in 2 weeks, something like that, in 2 weeks, one of you is going to win $500,000. Good luck." Something along those lines. You're talking about putting pressure on people real quick when you hear that and you realize how close you are to potentially getting that prize. So yeah, that was a stressful week. That was a little tough. I'll tell you one more bad moment before I go on to the good ones. The other probably really bad moment I had was on day 1 when that big old squirrel came in and grabbed me and banished me from the house. because as excited as I was getting into the house, the idea that suddenly I'd only been in the house like 2 hours or something, that there was a possibility that my game was over. I wasn't going to ever get to go up to the HOH room or sleep in the house or go in the backyard, do anything except just come in, say hi to a bunch of people, and then straight back out the door. So that was definitely a down moment while I was waiting for that competition. Now, once I won and I got back in, then you kind of feel some pride that, okay, the first adversary, the first challenge, the bad moment, and I was able to overcome it. So it did give me some strength thinking that. But yeah, when I got banished, that was rough. That was bad news. It was kind of just shattering all the dreams that I had. So now let's talk about the good moments. It's got to be day 30, right? Even though I was evicted, which nothing good about that. The fact that I was able to come right back into the house with the battle back, and then just a few hours later that night win the next HOH. And yeah, I remember I was the first person to win an HOH that wasn't part of that big alliance. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that entire night. The other thing, and then we'll move on to something else. The other time, and it's not any specific moment, but y'all know why I had the most fun while I was doing that house was some of the pranks I was playing on the different people. I tricked people with made a rat out of dryer lint and pulled it in front of people, scared them. Putting shaving cream in people's shoes or whipped cream in people's shoes. I took Mickey's sandals and froze them one night. Just all the different pranks. Just anything I could do in that house to get people laughing a little bit and having a little bit of fun, just to break the tension sometimes. So I had a lot of fun doing that. I've always been a prankster. I've always been a prankster here at home, and certainly I wasn't going to give up or not let the opportunity go without doing a bunch of pranks while I was inside the Big Brother house as well. So I had a blast doing that stuff. What else do we have here? What was the favorite lady? Oh, you're going so fast. Let's see. Can't keep track of it. Cliff, is there a chance you and Nicole will do some live feed updates together this season? Krista Belby. Hey, Krista, how are you? I would love to. In fact, I already told, because Nicole isn't doing as many shows as she used to. And so I told her, said, "Dan, you and I need to get on and do some live feed updates or talk about the show in some form or manner." I don't think we're going to do it in terms of a weekly, although I guess I ought to ask her, but in terms of a weekly formal, we're going to do it every week this time period. We don't have anything like that planned, but I'd love to grab Nicole and just do a show kind of like this or some format of this and talk about it. It's going to be interesting talking to Nicole because I had, we were all on the show back in 2019. And then I had last season to watch as just a fan and cheering people on and all that. But it was returning vets, so I felt like I already knew them and all of that. Nicole, she hasn't had, well, I was going to say she hadn't had a chance to watch as just a fan like I have, but she kind of went home a little earlier last year. So she actually did get to watch the second half of the summer while she was sitting home watching TV. But for the most part, she hasn't had a season where she is uninvolved in terms of knowing the people and all of that. So I am curious to see how she's going to feel. Speaking for myself, it was a huge, to a large degree, it was a huge sense of relief not being in a house and watching other people having to fight these challenges and worry about, who flipped, who turned on who used that power on David, and that kind of stuff. But because there were people, David and Nicole, I was both in the house cheering for them so much. And so even though I wasn't in there, I very much was empathetic and playing the game through their eyes. So it was still stressful. It's going to be fun this season watching all these brand new people, and it'll just be a little bit different. So yeah, I'd love to get Nicole on the show. She'll do it, right? Hopefully Nicole do it, because I'd love to hang out with her and talk about it a little bit. All right, Moss-San, let's see, grilled cheese off the radio. All right, well, I'll just leave that to y'all. Figure that one. Sorry, guys. I'm just kind of sitting here. Gotta be the worst feeling in the Big Brother house. There are a lot of worst feelings in that house. It's big emotions in that house. You're so high one day, so excited the way things are going, and then suddenly you get blindsided, and the whole world, the whole house feels like they're conspiring against you. Oh, Kat, are y'all conspiring against me? I laughed when Kat was first in the house. She used that term so much, so often, that people started getting a little annoyed with it. They were like, "Oh, Kat is too paranoid. She is going to drive us crazy if we keep her in the house, because she absolutely was nervous about everything that was going on inside that house. And suddenly, Kat figured it out. She realized that she was making people nervous because she was getting so paranoid. And so she took that saying and she turned it into a joke. And suddenly she would say it all the time. We stopped worrying about it. We started laughing every time she said it. And next thing you know, Julie Chen mentions it on the show. And then we know that it's been, people are laughing about it outside in the real world. And it just took off from there. Kat was so worried that first week, and y'all didn't see all the live feeds, but it got to the point where Kat would walk into the room and you just be like, oh my gosh, she's going to just start getting worried and nervous all over again. And then she snapped her fingers and it changed, and everything was a completely different attitude and emotion. It's amazing people, the way they change their games and the way they figure out, because Kat didn't really, she said that she'd watched some seasons, but she hadn't really. She was very new to the game, and it took a little while for her to get going. But once she did, she was a lot of fun to have in the house, wasn't she? I want to play another game with Kat. I need to get her on, I don't know, Amazing Race or something like that, because can you picture her and I running around the world and doing some of those challenges and interacting with people in the other countries and all that? That would be interesting. That could be some fun elements in that as well. All right, something else I was going to tell you about. I talked about great sports moments. Let's talk about some that aren't quite so great. Do y'all, I mentioned watching the United States beat Russia in hockey, and what an amazing memory that was. I got another one for y'all. Do y'all remember back in, I don't know, 1990s at some point in time, Mike Tyson, who had won like 400 fights in a row and no one lasted more than about 15 seconds or so. That's what it seemed like. Back in that day, Mike Tyson would get out there and he'd knock someone out with the first punch or two he threw, and they'd be done. I'd pay $40 for a pay-per-view, and the fight lasts 10 seconds. It really happened quite a few times. But there was one fight where Mike Tyson was fighting Buster Douglas, and for the heavyweight championship, but Mike Tyson was like a 10,000 to 1 odd favorite or something. Well, funniest thing, Buster Douglas decided that just because you think you're better than I am doesn't mean it's going to actually happen. He got up there and he surprised Mike Tyson. They fought a little bit. Buster Douglas threw a couple of punches and he knocked Mike Tyson out, and he won the World Heavyweight Championship in boxing. Now, he lost it the very next fight. He only lasted for one fight, and then that was it for Buster Douglas. But he beat Mike Tyson. Another incredible sports moment. I was watching it live on TV. Just incredible, because our jaws just dropped. Oh, my God. Mike Tyson's going to lose this thing. How amazing is that? But less enjoyable sports moments. On this day in history, in 1997, I believe, which means it's only been 24 years ago. Oh, man, that's a long time. 24 years ago on this day, Mike Tyson has another fight. He's trying to get back into fighting speed. He's fighting Evander Holyfield, who's a pretty good boxer in his own right, his own regard. Well, Mike Tyson isn't doing quite as well as he's hoping to do. They end up throwing a bunch of punches. They're exhausted. They grab each other in bear hugs, the way you see boxers do sometimes. What you don't normally see is what Mike Tyson did next. Do y'all remember this? He leaned over, thought he was going to give a little kiss to Holyfield. Just say, I respect you, man. I love you, bro. No, he didn't do that. Turned around, he bit off Holyfield's ear. Bit right into the earlobe and bit off, I don't know, a third of Evander Holyfield's ear. Turned around and spit it out. Now that's, I guess if you're in a street fight, if you're fighting zombies trying to survive, then that's acceptable behavior. Inside a boxing ring, not so much. That guy he was off the rails at that point in time. Spit Holyfield's ear out. I think they pretty much stopped the fight right then. If they didn't, and they had to. I can't picture if I'm boxing someone, they bite my ear off, and I'm going to say, just flesh them. Let's finish the fight first. Then you can sew it back on. No, I'm saying that's it. I'm not fighting this guy anymore. It's like a bad episode of The Tiger King or something, right? He bit his ear off. Well, he paid the price. I think they suspended him for 16 months after that. And by the time that was over, he was never a fighter again. Then he went and got his weird tattoos and starred in The Hangover. Was that the movie he was in? It's kind of funny with the white tigers and all of that. But yeah, so in this day, in 1987, he bit off a guy's ear during a boxing competition. I can't say during any time while I was inside the Big Brother house with all of those competitions, I can't think that I ever had a situation where I said, you know what, if they get in my way, I'm gonna bite off a finger or a toe or an ear or whatever. Now, Kat, maybe she took her chances a little bit when we were playing OTEV, and she kind of jumped ahead of me like a little gazelle and finished up. But I wasn't gonna bite her ear off. That's I feel like Big Brother wouldn't appreciate they admire the competitive spirit, but I feel like that may go a little beyond what they're willing to accept for primetime TV, don't you? So let's see what else is going on. All right, do you still talk to all the house guests from your season? Colby Mead's asking. Almost everyone, Colby. There's a couple I don't talk to as much because they've kind of moved beyond Big Brother to some degree. But there's a lot of people. The ones I talk to more than anyone else is probably Nicole, Sam, Tommy, Christy. That's probably about it. Kat a little bit, Jessica a little bit. Pretty much everyone else. It's just texting sometimes and just checking in with them every once in a while. And but yeah, I really would like to communicate with all 15 other house guests. We went through a shared experience, and inside the house, yeah, we were enemies with sometimes, and you had to vote people out and in their game to protect your game and things like that. But it was just a game. That's all it was. It was just a game that you're playing in front of millions of people on TV. But we were all living in that house together. So I've never had any ill feelings towards anyone in there, no matter what they did to me. I hope they feel the same way about me. I hope so. But yeah, so I try to talk to everyone, some more so than others, just because, I'm a little older. If you haven't noticed, I'm a little older than some of the other people. So it's not like I'm going out to California and saying, hey, let's go to a rave together. That's not really my scene. So, yeah, I don't talk to some of them as much, but in good terms. And like I say, I'd like to, I hope somewhere down the road, it'll probably never happen, but I'd love somewhere down the road to have all 16 get together for some kind of charity or something and just have a little reunion. Again, I don't think it'll happen, but it'd be fun to do. All right, what else is there going on? Let's see, 7:42. Wow. All right, I've got another binge I watched for y'all. And if I'm missing some comments, I'm gonna try to catch up to them. Let's see. Mike Tyson's birthday's on Wednesday. I forgot how old he is though. Well, I don't know either. I feel like I don't know. He's probably in his 50s by now. I feel like he's somewhere around my age, something like that. Chris is saying, do you think Paul deserved to win? I don't know, Chris. Jury management's part of the game as well. And I know certainly when he got beat by Josh, I feel like Josh did his jury management better than Paul did. Paul played an amazing game. I'm looking forward to meeting Paul at some point in the future because he's just such a very unique person. I'd love to meet him and just hang out and talk a little bit. But no, I think he played a fantastic game, but jury management's part of it. And I'm not sure he played jury game quite as much as he did. Chris, would you work with Chicken George if you were on the same season? I remember Chicken George. Yeah, I think Chicken George and I we'd have fun hanging out together. I wish we had chickens while I was in the house. I would have taken care of them. As many eggs as I ate, they probably would have expected me to take care of them. Yeah, I like Chicken George. Now, I didn't see his second season. Was that All-Star? I guess it was All-Stars. I haven't seen All-Stars season 6. I won't need to do it one of these days, but I haven't. But yeah, I've always liked Chicken George. He was fun. So there are very few people of all the seasons that I've watched where I would say, nah, I would never work with that person. I'd work with all of them. It would just depend on who wanted to work with me. Yeah, that's the key to Big Brother. You can't ever say, I'm not working with this person because they're too emotional, they're too strategic, they're too cutthroat. You got to be working with whoever sees benefit in working with you, because otherwise you never know who that person you may need on down the road to save you. So definitely had to work with Chicken George. Donnie, there's a lot of people I definitely would work with, but I'd work with just almost anyone if it helped advance me just a little bit farther. Paul Aberson, I don't know how you spell it, is non-binary. I don't know, Ma. I don't know one way or the other. But I'd like to meet him and see. David saying, have you talked to Ian lately? It'd be good to see y'all talking Big Brother. I talked to Ian. It's been a while. I told Ian and I actually talked about at one point going, because I was trying to run. I need to do that some more, but trying to run, and Ian was running as well. So we talked at one point about maybe doing some runs together in downtown Houston, and then when we got done playing some backgammon, because I played backgammon while I was in the Big Brother house, and I'd love to play backgammon with Ian. I'd probably get demolished because that guy is an expert at the game. But yeah, so we were talking about doing that, and then COVID started getting worse, and we just never got around to it. I think the last time I talked to Ian was when we had that really hard freeze here in Houston, because I saw a posting from him where his apartment didn't have any electricity. He was sitting out in his car to stay warm. And so I called him and said, man, come over here and hang out or something. We'll keep you warm. And about that time, his power came on. And then a little bit later, the power went out at our house. And so Ian called me and said, the offer's over here. Come hang with us if you want. And it never did happen. But yeah, Ian, before I ever even went into the Big Brother house, when I was auditioning, people asked me, said, who are some of your favorite Big Brother players in the past? And two of the names I always threw out was Vanessa Russo and Ian. I just loved watching the way they played the game. So yeah, Ian, when I first got out of the house, Ian actually came over to a meet and greet that I did in downtown Houston. And he and Josh Weldon, who was on Amazing Race and then Big Brother as well. The two of them came over and said hi, and we hung out for a little while and had a blast with them. So yeah, I need to track Ian down, get his thoughts, because again, he was playing last season as well, so I couldn't talk Big Brother with him, but I'd love to do it this season. That'd be a lot of fun. And Alden saying Vanessa was awesome. Absolutely. I thought she was one of the more strategic players. Didn't quite work out for her at the end, but she was a good player. I really admired Vanessa's game, watching it all the way through. RJ, how often do you change your cowboy hat? Or are you attached to the one you have on? Well, this is kind of my favorite hat. Now, I will say this. They always talk about, in the summertime, you only wear white in the summertime, and I don't know, all these clothing rules, which I've never paid attention to. Theoretically, yeah, you wear a felt hat more during the wintertime, and when summer comes along, you grab your straw hat and throw that on instead. And I guess I could do that, but here's the thing. My straw hat is white enough. Sometimes it just doesn't show up that well on the cameras and everything. And so this is definitely my favorite. This has always been my favorite. I've got some other hats that are darker colors and all of that, but now this is, I don't know. Maybe I'll think about wearing one of my other ones one of these days, but yeah, I kind of like this one. I liked it. It's one of the reasons I wore it when I went into the Big Brother house. And now it has special meaning just because it was the hat I wore while I was inside. So that's kind of cool. It's part of me now, even more so than it used to be. I was laughing. I saw a little clip. Someone had polished. I don't know if y'all seen it. There's a GIF of me. GIF. I still don't know the answer to that. One of me polishing my boots right before I went home as the fourth place finisher, because I wanted to make sure I was looking good on eviction night. So I got out my boot polish and I was cleaning it all up and everything while I was sitting there in the RV room and getting that all taken care of. I was polishing my boots day before yesterday and doing the same thing, and just thought, wow, I remember being in the house polishing those boots and just wanting everything to look absolutely perfect. All right, let's see. If Shacky says, is there one thing you would have changed in your season of Big Brother? Well, I wouldn't have talked so loud, Shacky. I would have kept my mouth just a little more shut. I don't know. That's a tough one, because it's easy now that I've watched the game. I still haven't seen the whole season, but now that I kind of know more about who was working with who was plotting with who, things like that, it's easy now to say, oh yeah, I should have done this, or hindsight. Yeah. And knowing what the competitions are, what kind of competitions, there's lots of things that perhaps I would do differently in terms of who I'd try to work with or who I wouldn't have worked with. There's a lot of things that maybe I'd do differently, but based on the information I had at the time while I was playing the game, there's not any decision that I look back and say, oh man, you really blew it there. You really should have done this or that. It's I feel pretty comfortable with everything I did based on the arguments and the reasoning that was going on in my head at the time. So again, hindsight 2020, knowing more now than I knew then, there's certainly things to say, well, what would have happened if I'd done this? But I'm pretty comfortable with, you can't have regrets. No regrets. What's on the tattoo? Now, you can't have regrets. I feel like the decisions I made were justifiable based on the information I had, and I'm okay with that. So we got that. I think the fan favorite is GIF, or GIF, but the creator says it's GIF. All right, Moss. I still don't know. I guess as long as y'all know what I'm talking about when I say one or the other, it's probably okay. Let's see. Don saying, Sandra, yeah, I wouldn't vote with the house. It's hard though. I get it. There were people when Ovi went home in basically week 1. It was and Sanders saying Big Brother changed when everyone started voting in the house. That's true, but here's the thing: you're so panicky and so worried that you're going to give someone any reason whatsoever to stand out or to vote for you because you stood out from everyone else. Ovi was my guy. I did not want Ovi going home in the first week of evictions, and so when it came down to him versus Kat, it killed me. But it quickly became obvious that everyone was voting to send Ovi home. And I was afraid that if I didn't vote to send Ovi home, that everyone would blame the vote either on myself or Nicole, because I felt like we were kind of the two that were maybe tightest with Ovi. And I just felt I'd already been banished on the very first day. So I thought, gosh, if I give them another reason to vote me out based just on how I voted with Ovi, it's hard. So yeah, I get it. It may be more boring when you see so many votes that are unanimous or close to unanimous, but it's because a lot of people realize that if it's a done deal, if there's no chance that it's not going to go the way I want it to go, or that's not going to go the other way, then why should I create controversy by making a vote that's not going to help me at the end of the day? Now, having said that, who does vote against the house? It's someone that wants to throw in one of those little hinky votes just to create drama anyway. I know Jackson did that one time when he voted to save Kimmy just because he knew everyone would say it was Nicole who cast that vote to save Kimmy. And it kind of worked. And Nicole got really upset because she knew everyone's looking at her thinking that vote was cast. And really, it shouldn't matter, right? I mean, just one vote. But look at Sam. When Bella went home, Sam still voted along with Nick to save Bella, and he kind of paid the price because after that, people said, "Well, you're obviously super loyal to Nick, knowing that even though Bella's going home, you still vote the same way as Nick does." That's just showing how deep your loyalty is, and that didn't help Sam any at all. So yeah, I understand the idea behind not voting with the house, but you do what you have to do to survive. That's really it. All right, let's see. Sanders saying like the old comps to be on or off slop. I like that too. I like the old luxury competitions where you wasn't just playing for slop. Sometimes you were playing to get extra little luxury food items in the house or to keep food items from being taken away from you. I kind of like that, but that's old school. We didn't get that during my season, and I don't know that we'll get. It'd be great if we got this season. I think that's kind of gone by the wayside. They want to have more competitions like the veto competitions and the America's Field Camp and stuff like that, the Whacktivities, some of those. All right, let's see what else. How long did it take you to decompress once you got home? Did you have nightmares? Amanda, yes, indeed. I had nightmares. Nightmares. I certainly had a lot of nights where I woke up still kind of feeling like I was in the Big Brother house. Lots of dreams about having to make votes. And it's funny because I had dreams where I would dream that, oh my gosh, we're coming up on the very end and I haven't even talked to these 5 people in the house. And now they're going to decide whether to keep me or not. Why didn't I talk to these people? So there were a lot of stress dreams involved in Big Brother. But how long did it take me to decompress? We got done at the end of September, and I don't know, by Thanksgiving and around that time when I was seeing my family and everyone else, then by then it was okay. But that first month or two, yeah, you just kind of sit there and lay in bed sometimes saying, oh my God, it's so nice not having cameras everywhere or having these dreams. And you're still doing a lot of talking for the first time out here on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and trying to explain all your choices, good or bad, with everyone else. And so for that first month or two, you are absolutely reliving the game over and over and over again, and you can't get away from it. And so, yeah, it took a while to decompress, but after a while, I think most people learn to embrace the experience and say, well, what a once in a lifetime type situation. There's a few people I don't know if they ever completely recover from it. They still have bad vibes from it, and a few people, but for the most part, I think you just learn to to embrace the experience that you went through and appreciate everything about it. That's what I do. So, all right, let's see what else are we got. 7:56. All right, I haven't even talked about 4th of July yet, guys. We got 4th of July coming up on Sunday. I hope y'all are doing something fun. For Angie and others that may be up in Canada, y'all can celebrate it as well. Yeah, there's a holiday. When is July 1st? Correct me, please, but yeah, y'all got your Independence Day pretty quick, don't you? I could be completely wrong, and then I'm gonna feel bad about it. But now, gotta have fun. Everyone, who has a 4th of July? We all have a 4th of July, whether you're celebrating Independence Day or not. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna plan to do a lot of cooking, and I think they've got a fireworks show finally. We didn't really have as much last year, but some fireworks shows. So maybe do some fireworks, cook outside on the grill, and just enjoy kicking back. And 4th of July means summer. That's always fun. When we were July 1st is Canada Day. See, all right, Angie. See, I was pretty close, right? I thought I remembered that, but I would have felt horrible if I misremembered. So happy Canada Day to y'all. Fun, just a couple of days from now. So enjoy your holiday as well. Here's the thing y'all may not realize, and then we'll start shutting it down. Inside the Big Brother house, we were there on the 4th of July. In fact, I think Ovi got evicted on July 3rd. So he was going to miss the 4th, and I was feeling bad about that. Yeah, the whole fellowship of the zing. I love being in an alliance with Ovi and Nicole. But Ovi was going home the day before the 4th of July, and I felt horrible about that. And then suddenly here comes David running back in the house, and we know that David and Ovi are both going to be in. Everyone, all 16 of us got to celebrate 4th of July inside the house, and I was so happy for both of them. So incredibly happy. But here's the thing that's funny. We got to go in the backyard for the 4th of July and just kind of enjoy the outdoors and all of that. But suddenly at night, once it started getting a little dark, all of a sudden we start hearing these fireworks going off. Not outside, not in the, well, we heard some fireworks people setting off here and there in the neighborhoods. But we heard fireworks going off inside. And so we all ran in to see what was going on. And up on the screen where normally we see Julie talking to us on eviction night, standing there on stage. So that little TV screen, instead they were showing fireworks. And I don't remember if it was from New York City or Washington D.C. Somewhere we were all the fireworks going off, and we're like, oh, they're letting us watch the fireworks. This is fantastic. Enjoy every bit of it. And then as we watch, we realize that, well, we're kind of watching fireworks, but it's actually a recorded video of fireworks going off, and they're just looping the same 4 or 5 minutes over and over and over again. And we probably watch it for 30 minutes. We were so desperate for anything to divert and to entertain us that even knowing it was just like a 4 or 5 minute loop, we still watched it for half an hour. And every time that same firework go up, we'd all go, woo, ah. We still enjoyed it. I probably will watch it longer. I mentioned at one point, I said, you could put a video on about cheese making in Dutch language or something in black and white, and I'll still watch it. And I'll watch it over and over again just to give me something different than having to talk to the same people over and over and over again. So there you go. So we got to celebrate 4th of July while we were in the house, but probably not as nicely as y'all got to celebrate outside the house. Abby of 12, wish you and Nicole would have done more meet and greets. Felt like you kind of got robbed because of COVID. Yeah, I know. I felt the same way. I did a few of them here in Houston, did a few up in Dallas-Fort Worth. Nicole, Kat, and I went up to Calgary and did a meet and greet there. And we had talked about me trying to go up with Tommy and Nicole and Christy and doing some up in New York and all that. And then COVID hit and it just shut everything down. I was going to go try to meet a bunch of the fans at the casting calls. I think there was one going on in San Antonio for BB22, one going on in New Orleans for BB22. And I was going to go to both of them just so I could hang out with the fans and talk Big Brother all day long. And then right as we were getting ready to do that, that's when COVID came in. They said, yeah, we're not doing that. No casting calls. And then later we found out that now it's all going to be all-star. So there's no tryouts or anything. So yeah, I agree with you, Abby. It was, it's kind of rough suddenly not being able to get out and talk Big Brother with everyone else. Now, thankfully, I still have shows like this and also I still get to talk to y'all. But yeah, it's kind of fun just going out and hanging out and interacting with people the meet and greets and everything like that. So, all right, guys, it is 8 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. Can y'all believe it's June 28th, which means this time next week is a Monday. Imagine that. But then we got 2 more days and it's the live 90-minute move in. By the time we come back on the show next week, I think we'll have seen what the house looked like. I keep hearing these rumors they're going to do some kind of house reveal of some sort. So hopefully we get to see something about the house before too long. We may or may not get a cast leak, or it's not a leak if they do it officially, right? So I don't know, but it'd be cool if we found out anything at all about the cast before going to the house. But if not, well, that's all right, because I'm going to be watching Wednesday, and I'm going to be so excited to see who's going to be playing, who's going to be in that house entertaining us for the next season. It's going to be a lot of fun. So in the meanwhile, guys, y'all have a fantastic, happy Canada Day. Have a fantastic, happy 4th of July. Every bit of it. And Angie's saying Chickadee's been MIA, BB23. Well, I tell you this, Angie, if she is on BB23, I got someone I know I'm going to be cheered for. That would be that would be fun. But I don't know. No one tells me anything, so I don't have a clue. I'm going to be as surprised as everyone else. But that's kind of what makes it fun. All right, guys, we're going to shut it down. Y'all have a fantastic week. I will see y'all next Monday. SKD143. I love my wife, love my kids, love all of y'all out here, and I love all the BB reality world fandom. Such a great family. Y'all have a great one, guys. I will talk to y'all next Monday. Cheers, my friends.